It was the debut of Luka Doncic as a Laker. And ooh, the joint was hopping last night in L.A. In fact, the organization gave out 77 T-shirts to everybody. Even LeBron wore one before the game. Dirk Nowitzki flew out from Dallas to be with Luka's relatives to watch the game. This is the first quarter. Luka's first touch, the alley-oop, the Jackson Hayes. Lakers, they were up by 4 at this point. We're still in the first, and this is classic Luka, the step-back 3. All 3 of those. His first points as a Laker. They were still up 4. Second quarter, Lauri Markkanen's going to miss. Luka snags that board. Look at that pass. On the money to LeBron. You know, the Lakers were plus 16 with LeBron and Luka both on the floor in that first half. Boy, they were up huge at the half, too. We get to the third. They're up 29 at this point. And Luka driving, scoring. Hits the free throw. He had 14 points in his Laker debut. This is the third now. Doncic to LeBron. Lays it in. Lakers up 25 at this point. To the fourth quarter, Lakers up 27. Keep your eyes on LeBron here, playing some defense. Takes the charge, and he would stay down for a quick minute. Walked off the floor to the locker room, had to stretch that thing out, but he did come back. Sat on the bench, has a few smiles. LeBron had 24, Doncic had 14. Lakers win big. Okay, so Monica, Wendy, start with you. Wendy, give me your first impression of what you saw last night.
Yeah, I thought he looked a little nervous coming out of the gate. There was this moment where he was introduced last, which is normally the spot for LeBron, and LeBron gave it to him. It was honorary. LeBron, really pumped him up in the pregame huddle, and he looked a little tight in the early going. He, at one point, had to come over to the bench and ask for water during the game before the first time out, I think because he was just nervous about it. Look, he hadn't played since Christmas, so no matter who he was playing for, it would have been a little bit, of a thing, and this was just intimidating. They picked him a perfect spot to come in, Brian. The Jazz are not a good team. This game was essentially over in the first quarter. He did have good time out there with LeBron. Austin Reeves had a very productive game sharing time with him. That arguably is the most important thing we saw. A lot more high-pressure games to come, but a good start for Luka.
Wendy, give me your thoughts here. From what you saw out of these guys, can they win a championship, in your opinion?
That's a little bit much this year. Look, Luka's acquisition no doubt raised the ceiling for the Lakers. You look at their medium-term outlook and you have to really like it. Without a center, I just think that they're going to have struggles in certain matchups. And we know, Brian, how badly they believe they need a center because they paid very dearly for Mark Williams. Obviously, the physical didn't work out and they backed out of it. I'm giving them a free pass for this year. I know that never happens in the world of the Lakers. I know that there will be an expectation that they will go very far. Their team is out of balance. They have great perimeter and very weak on the interior in depth and talent level. Let's just see who they end up matching up with in the playoffs.
Okay, Monica, I understand we got the audio back. What are your thoughts?
My bad. It's still early. I agree with Wendy on most of these things. Like, I'm not worried about the two of them offensively or the rest of this unit. JJ Redick has been terrific. Defensively is where I have my concerns. Now, is there a world where these guys, two supernovas in their own right, get hot at the right time in the postseason and annihilate whoever's in front of them? There's potential there, right? But I'm old enough to remember last year's conversations about teams in the postseason, us questioning some of the youth, and it ended up being Dallas and the Minnesota Timberwolves standing in the Western Conference Finals. So I just think there's a lot to grow here, a lot to have happen here for the Lakers in terms of them being legitimate title contenders.
Okay, Swagu, I know how much you love those Lakers. Give me your thoughts on the trade and what you saw initially out of Luka and LeBron.
Uh-oh. It's contagious.
he's like you. You know what I mean?
I'm just playing with y'all. Good morning, Mon. Good morning. What's up, Wendy? They subbed out. They put in thick J. Will for this basketball segment. Listen, man, this is this to me. I'm in agreement with Wendy and Monica defensively. Obviously, every team wants to have a rim protector unless you're just gonna run people to death. I was hearing that LeBron and Luka gonna struggle to play together. I ain't seen LeBron struggle to play with anybody throughout the duration of his career. That's what it looked like. And I'll tell you this, man, as a guy that has a son that's ranked the number 3 player in 2027, for Luka to be nervous and go out and get 14 points, they pay people $100 million to score 14 points in the NBA. I'm sure these numbers are going to pick up. It'll eventually be, obviously, his team and the move that they've made. But as far as a run, the only thing I can think of is if him and LeBron just goes on a heater throughout the playoffs, and you see the rapport, and offensively they can score enough points to give you a little bit of cushion for what you don't have on the defensive end. And the reality is, and I always have to check with people like Wendy, are we sure LeBron is 40? Like, are we positive that this man's birth certificate is right when it comes to how he performs and physically? But him off the floor and Luka holding up that offensive end of the bargain could be a crazy situation for teams. And I hear everybody talk about the matchup that they would not have defensively. What about the matchup nightmare you will have with them on the court together facilitating? And we saw a little bit of that last night.
NBA